that William Peagler, tight end coach, will be departing the University of Florida to also join the Arizona Cardinals. He joined the Gators from Michigan State last year. Obviously, we didn't see a ton of production out of the tight end room last year. Obviously, there's been a lot of question marks about recruiting in tight end. It does seem like there was starting to become a bit more traction in recruiting, and some folks naming William Peagler's name a bit more in recruiting. But again, he's going to be joining the Arizona Cardinals. So, gentlemen, obviously this leaves a lot of opportunities for Florida, not just at tight end, and maybe a slash coach, right? A tight end and someone that has some experience in special teams, maybe somebody that helps with the passing game. Silk, Nick, your thoughts?
Give me a special teams help coach, because the game-changing coordinator, Chris Couch,
he changed some games, all right.
Yeah, Florida's special teams were atrocious for 95% of the season. So he's still on staff. Get him some help.
Yeah, I think William Peagler is ducking the Nick Delatorre fade. He heard about it last show and was like, man, I don't know, bro. They actually try to get me in a cage with that monster.
Facts.
I probably need to get out of Gainesville.
Facts.
I'm with you
Smart
guys.
Man.
I think we need and me and Dan were talking pre-show, and there was some names thrown out there like Jeff Scott, right? A guy that's coached wide receivers. You could just toss him at tight ends coach. He can recruit, has special teams on his resume. He's coached special teams at Clemson back in his past. So I wouldn't mind a guy like that coming on, but that would be a huge plus for Billy's PR, right? His approval rating will go through the roof if he could address a lot of our big questions, which was defensive coordinator, special teams. If he answered those two questions in the offseason, man, I think that'll just help him out with some of the bad PR. You know what I'm saying? So I'm for it. Two of the main guys that we were looking to get rid of and having questions about, Peagler just wasn't it, man. I don't know what it was. Went a whole cycle, didn't land a tight end, didn't really go out the one in the transfer portal, but just wasn't a whole lot of buzz. I just been like, what the hell does Peagler do? You know, when he's out on the field on Saturdays, what the hell is he doing? Because he's not recruiting. So a little bit of dead weight off the roster as well. Everybody got to be able to, earn their chops.
So Jeff Scott fired at USF, had a meeting with Billy. Billy offered him a job as a quality control assistant. And Jeff told Billy, reportedly, from people I talked to, I'm good. I'm going to take a year off, be with the wife, kids. Then Dabo Swinney offered the same thing. And Jeff was like, you know what? Going back home, go to the alma mater, sounds good. So took that job. I don't think Jeff Scott, now listen, a chance to come back and work with Billy as an on-field coach, I think he might jump at that. But after going through the 3 years or 2+ years he did at USF, quality control assistant making 6 figures probably sounds good, especially when you're, collecting whatever buyout money USF is paying.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Florida's going to be looking for obviously a good tight end coach, but I would not be surprised if this is one of those positions, especially in the offense that Billy Napier runs, where they really try to go get another recruiter. Obviously, Florida, performed fine, in recruiting, good. Florida can get better. William Peagler's name was not attached to a lot of recruits. Even Patrick Toney's name was attached to a few. You have the late night gaming session with Kamari Wilson. You have a few other things, but Florida's obviously going to need to make some big changes in when it comes to recruiting and getting those dogs out there and being able to compete and fight. Florida, ranks pretty well in the final rankings, but still 6th or 7th in the SEC. So it's going to be important that Florida goes out and makes their team better, not just as a tight end position coach, but as somebody that's a recruiter. And then if you can get somebody that can help with the passing game, if you can get somebody to help with special teams to overall make the position better, because, Peagler was definitely siloed into that tight end room. And, again, I think, when we talk about the biggest areas of opportunity that Florida needed to improve last year was figuring out the usage of the tight end, which, again, in this offense might be a little bit different than we were used to. And then at the linebacker and defensive coordinator position. And it looks like Florida is potentially making upgrades in those areas, or has the opportunity to, and it looks like they may have on the defensive side already.
And to be fair to Peagler, tough spot. You show up and there's not a ton of experienced talent in the room, and then you immediately lose Jonathan Odom and Nick Elksnis to injury. You have to have 2 defensive linemen come over. One of those defensive linemen turns into your starter. Then you lose Nick Elksnis during the season again to the same injury. But if your room is not great, you need to make up for it on the recruiting trail. I don't think that he was carrying his water on the recruiting trail.
I'm gonna tell you, Lane, just from the history and the tradition of college football, tight end coaches are hired guns to recruit. Like you're not coaching a whole lot doing practice. You got the tight end room, so that position and running backs, even though running backs a lot more to coach, but those 2 spots you have to have elite recruiters on your staff. Definitely not a guy that can't hold his own, right? So it's definitely that. I mean, that's what Tim Brewster was in his prime. Like he wasn't no exotic or no great tight end coach teaching people how to run routes. He was a hired gun to go get Davin Cook and guys like that. So hopefully we can find a recruiting gun. And also we got to be able to hit some of these needs. Like Dan was saying, special teams is just a position we got to address. We need a dedicated guy to the special teams, man. So hopefully we get one.
And again, don't know if this is the end of the movement of the Florida Gators staff, but certainly some surprising news on a Wednesday morning.
We got 10 days until spring camp.
Made my day, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't have no Tony lives this off season, fellas. I was out. I didn't say anything. I was like, we gotta wait and see, fellas. That was my take to all the fans. We gotta wait and see what he do with new personnel. I was out of lies. Boom. Billy came on the show last week and he's like, that Silk guy got something going. You know what? I got
PR's through the roof right now.
Yeah. He
comes on stadium and Gale makes the necessary changes that Silk was asking for, and all of a sudden, here we are. Silk, we would be remiss in any Florida Gators coaching search on the offensive side of the ball. And shout out to Black Pine Labs here for asking, Silk, when was the last time that you talked to Jawan Sider?
Last week. We talk often, but it's usually about there's a lot of prospects in Palm Beach right now. So he's calling me to get the word and the vibes on a lot of players that UF is chasing. I'm just giving him the runaround. Like, I don't know, bro. He kind of stinks. Every kid he called me about, I'm telling him he stinks, man. But
that Chauncey Bowens guy, not worth it, you know.
Yeah, don't go by Bowens, man. I heard that kid got off the field issues, man. Don't say anybody. Big
off the field issues, Juwan. No, you don't want any part of that.
Nah, stay away from that kid. But he just got a promotion. He's got the OC title out there, in Not So Happy Valley. So I don't know if he's looking around. I know the wife likes it out there, and I don't know. I definitely know he's not interested in tight end coach. You know, he's at running back coach right now. He's looking to play call. That'll be his next. I don't think he's calling plays in Happy Valley. So if Sider was to move, it's going to be to call plays and get up from under Franklin.